What's up, guys? This is Richard again for this edition of Learning with Rich. So for today's lesson, I'm going to teach you how to work with beams and beam systems in Revit 2017. So let's get started. So in this exercise, I'm going to complete the first floor framing, and I'm going to add sloped framing at the second floor roof, and model a slope canopy structure at the exterior of the building. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add beams to the structural base. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to open the first floor to complete the framing. Okay, so I'm going to select here the structure tab, and then from the structure panel, you will see here the beam system. So beam system, so according to the definition, it creates a layout that is used to control the number and spacing of a series of parallel beams. So it will automate the placing of your beam. So instead of placing it one by one, so you can use structural beam system. So I'm going to use this. Okay, and then from the options bar, I'm gonna make sure that fixed number here. So let's say I want a fixed number of 3 beams. So I'm going to change this to 3. Okay, and then from my type selector, so structural framing system, beam type, I'm gonna use here this one. So 300 W310 by 38.7 type of beam system. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to place my cursor here. So let's say I want to place it here in this portion. Okay, so I'm going to move my pointer along the beam. Okay, you see? Alright, so if I move my pointer here, it's horizontal. So it follows the direction of this beam, but I'm going to place it here. Okay, I'm going to place it here. Let's say I'll just place it here. Alright, so I pick. So there's my beam system, and let's say I'm going to create here also, this time horizontal. So I pick here. Okay, so I'm going to add also here, here. All right, and then vertical beam system between the grids C, D, E, F until G. All right, so I just need to pick the beams as my reference. Okay, so after that, let me just check it on my 3D view. So I select modify to terminate it. So I'll select the 3D view. So this is now my beam system. It's beautiful. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add skewed framing to a framing bay. Okay, so going back to my first floor, so I'm going to place it here. Okay, so I'm going to select again the beam system. Okay, so this time I'm going to use this option, sketch. Okay, so a while ago I used this one, so this time I use sketch beam system. So I select this, and then I'm gonna use here peak supports. Okay, and then I'm going to sketch the boundary of my beam system. So I need to create the boundary. So I'm going to select this wall here. Okay, I'm gonna pick this beam, Okay, and then I'm going to select here the trim because you need to make it a continuous closed loop. Okay, so as you can see, there's a intersection here. So I'm going to trim that using the trim extend the corner. So it should be closed continuous loop. Alright. Okay, then after that, I'm going to change the direction. So instead of vertical beam, so I'm going to change the direction by selecting here beam direction. Okay, and then I use the line tool. So I pick the line tool, so I'm gonna place it here. Here's the first point, and then this second point. Okay, and then I select here modify, and then I'm going to select here finish. There you go. Very nice. So again, if I'm going to check this in my 3D view, it will looks like this one. Okay. So it's a skewed framing for my framing bay. All right. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add slope roof framing. Okay, so to do that, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this wall here. Okay, and then from my properties, as you can see, the top offset here is 900. I'm going to lower it down. So instead of 900, I'm going to make it 0. Okay, so you will notice it will go down. So I will be putting here my slope roof framing. Okay, and then to start, I'm going to open the second floor. Okay, again, I'm going to use the beam system. So I select the beam system, and then from the beam type, this time I'm going to use 460 by 52. Okay, and instead of fixed number, okay, I'm going to use here maximum spacing this time. So maximum spacing of, let's say, there's a decimal point. Maybe I'll just make it 1,800. Okay, and then I'm going to select here the 3D checkbox so that it will snap. Okay, on my 3D. Okay, so to start, I'm now going to move my pointer along this wall, and then as you can see, there's the preview of the beam system. So I'm going to select now to place it. There you go. And then I select here modify to terminate it. So if I'm going to open this section, all right, the section 1, I'm going to open this. So there you go. Beautiful. It's nice. Okay. So notice that the beams in the beam system have different slopes because of the walls on which they are based. So in my 3D view, it looks like this. Very nice, right? Okay. Okay, so next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to model the sloped canopy structure. Okay, so to start, I'm going to open the first floor again. Okay, so maybe I'm just going to zoom in here. Okay, so this time I use the beam tool. Okay, and then from the type selector, I'm going to use here 310 by 38.7. And then I'm going to start to draw you the beam. So I'm going to use the line tool. So let's say from this wall, so I want to have a distance of 1,800 to pick. All right, and then I'm going to pick here. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to terminate the tool, and then after that, I'm going to select now the beam that I just created, and then you will notice that the start level here is 0 for the end level offset, and then here the start level offset is also 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change both. So instead of 0, I'm going to lower it down by, okay, so I click this, I'm going to lower it down by minus 300. Okay, so in 3D view it looks like this. Where is that? This one, right? So it moves down minus 300. Okay, so going back to my first floor, so I click again. So this one, I'm going to lower it also by minus 300. There you go. So you can use this option to lower down your beam. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to select again the beam tool, and then making sure that it's still 310 by 38.7. Okay, so just verify that my 3D snapping here is check. Okay, so in the view window, I'm going to draw a beam on my grid line 2, starting from the exterior using the line. Yes, okay. So here, draw a beam on the grid line 2. So let me just press the tab here because I want to snap to this corner. Okay, so in case you're having a difficulty because a while ago it's snapping here, so you just need to press your tab continuously until it snaps. Okay, so I'm going to pick, and then I'm going to pick this one. Alright, so notice that the value here is minus 300 when it connects to this beam here. Okay, then I'm going to draw also another one here. So again, I'm going to snap here at the exterior, and then I'm going to pick the upper end of this beam. So it's also like that, it snaps to the beam. That's why it's minus 300. Now if I'm going to open the elevation view here, so let's say the elevation 3, so this is now how it looks like. So in 3D view, it looks like this. Alright, okay, so going back to my first floor, so I'm going to select again here the beam system. Okay, so I use the beam system here, and then from the options bar, so instead of maximum spacing, I'm going to use here fixed number. So let's say I want a total number of 3 again, and then this time I'm not going to specify the slope here, so I'm going to clear this. Okay, and then I'm going to use the sketch mode. Okay, so sketch mode, and then I use again the peak supports. Okay, and then I'm going to create the boundary. Okay, so I'm going to control select these lines here. Okay, then after that I'm going to use the line tool here. Okay, I use the line tool because it should be close when you create the boundary of your system. Okay, so if required, you can use again your trim tool just to make sure it's close, right? So this one, it's already close, so it's already close, right? Okay, then after that, I select your finish again. Boom. All right, so this is now how it looks like. So again, I select modify to terminate. So in 3D view, it looks like this. There you go, so nice. Okay, so going back to my first floor, I'm going to complete the slope canopy structure. So I'm going to select here the beam tool, and then from the type here, I use this one, the round structural tubing. Okay, so I select this. Okay, and then to draw the beam in the view window, so I'm going to move my pointer here along this beam, and then let's say I want the distance of let's say 812. Enter. Okay, and then I'm going to pick here. There you go, and then I select modify, and then I'm going to uh, copy this one, the one that I just created. So I select this, and then I'm going to copy. Okay, I'm going to copy it multiple times. Okay, all right, so I'm going to pick here, and then I'm going to move down my pointer with the distance of 1625. Enter. Okay, I'm going to move down again 1625. Then I'm going to move down 1625. Total number is 4. Okay, so 1, control select this 4 here. Okay, then after that I'm going to change the end offset here. So the start level here is minus 300, so I want to raise the end here, because you see, if I'm going to click this one, so it's 0, so I'm going to raise that very high. So I'm going to change the end level offset here of that 4 tubing, let's say 2500. Enter. Alright, and then I select modify. So if I'm going to open now the 3D view, the one that I have created, so it looks like this one. There you go. Very nice. Okay. Okay. So as you can see, by using the beam systems, it will help you to create your beams faster. You just need to do some modifications, just changing the values or options on your options bar, and then you also have another options to create your beam system. You have two options, just a recap. Okay, so beam system, so you have two options there. Okay. One is sketch mode, and then the other one is you just need to click the edges of the reference beam. There you go. So hope you learned something from this video. If you have comments, questions or suggestions, you can put it on your section below, and you can also subscribe to my channel, so any updates that I have done in my videos, you will be notified. Also, if I created a new video, you will be notified. You can also subscribe to my blog site. It will helps you a lot. And once again, this is Rich from Learning with Rich. Until then, take care.